Hi everyone. I want to talk in this video about doing business in Latin America. And I want to talk in this video, the objective here is to talk about the number one mistake people make when doing business in Latin America. This is for everyone from every country. You came from another culture from you do business in like in US, Canada. You can, and you have a different vision, a different way of see things and how to do business. And if you would like to learn how to do business in Latin America, this video might help you. So the number one mistake is something that is very might sound obvious, but is that people think is doing business in Latin America is the same as doing it in every place. And you have to understand some things that are very important. You have to understand how to operate your business, how to work to manage your business if you are coming to Latin America. There are a lot of advantage to doing business here because of the dollar, the change that you have with the dollar might benefit you if you have that currency or the currency that you have in your country. You have to see what is your advantage. If you came from Asia, for example, you might came with cheaper products that are made there, and you can sell it here in Latin America. If you came from the US, you can bring some technology, for example. The number one problem is that you have to know the country. In Latin America, most countries, and when I am talking about when you want to sell your product or your service, you have to understand how the countries work and how I want to talk about how that works. So in Latin America, the first things that you might want to do if you are doing business, you want to sell. You want to sell your product or your service. And what are some mistakes that people make? In Latin America, how the economy works. Most of the economy came from natural resources. And natural resources are the base of the economy. In Latin America, industrial development is not like a big thing. You have natural resources, and then you have service, a lot of service, commerce, education, etc. So how do you came to the economy and you can make some profit? The best way is to understand that most countries in here are came from a Catholic perspective, a very religious perspective. Like I'm gonna give you one example. We have a lot of holidays, for example, here in Chile, and we have cycles for the same thing. Some, for example, the vacations, the breaks, the holidays, the vacations are from at the beginning of the year, and we are in summer. In that, for example, I'm talking about Chile in this moment. You have to understand that sometimes there are holiday cycles. What I mean by cycles is that on summer people go to the beach, and that is where most people are. So maybe if you are selling in a big city, people you might have lower sales in those times than if you go to the beach, to the where people go on vacation. You have to do a market research. There are some business that have came through Latin America and have failed because they didn't do a market research. Where is most of the people? How much are they spending right now? What products can we start in here? What products they are already buying? What places are the ones that are more productive in a business matter? What seasons are the best for my products? I have to understand that the climate is very different in every country in Latin America, but the seasons are very different. Latin America is huge. The size of the market is huge, but you have to understand the places, cycles, holidays, vacations, seasons, and what you can do. First, you have to commit a time to research the first place where you want to start your business in Latin America, or you want to expand your business in Latin America. And there you have to see the clues. I don't know what might be your product or service, but you have to adapt. I mean, where are you going to sell it? Who are you going to sell it? Are you going to sell it business to business? Are you going to sell it to the public? Is the dollar benefit me when I'm doing business in here? Probably yes. In what country I might start? I have to do a research before. Another thing that is very important is that in Latin America, personal relationships matter more. And we do have a lot of contracts. You have to have formality, but trust is very important. And slower decisions are used in here in Latin America, but people see more for longer relationships when doing business. So it's very important that you, like I said before, Latin America have a background, a Catholic background that has a big influence in the holidays, in the how people consume, and how is their relationship with people, and it's very you could say is very personal. So it's important for you to have a strategy for the market research for the country. And another thing is that in Latin America, a lot of countries have similar structure, but at the same time they are very different because it's so huge. So you have to be very strategic about that, and when you decide what to sell, where to sell, what is your business plan, you then have to make the relationships with people, with other people that you're gonna do business, because you might need a network here in Latin America and so on. So my best advice for this mistake, thinking that it's the same like in every place, is that in Latin America you have to first have a time for maybe visiting the country or learning about the country before you invest in there or in a business or in a product that you might want to sell.